Yo, this is Super Max Hernandez, and you're watching Countdown City WrestleCast. Boom, I got it.
What's up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm your host, JC. I'm joined today at Celebrity Fan Fest by the very awesome Sean Hernandez. Hot Stuff Hernandez. Yeah. How many other gimmicks, Mr. Texas?
Give me paid, Hernandez.
Give me paid, yes. Reminder, you can follow our Twitter account at CCG_WrestleCast. Subscribe to the Countdown City Geeks YouTube channel for more WrestleCast episodes. Today, we're getting a retrospective on Hernandez's career. A little interview how he got started in wrestling, what the future holds for him. So we talked a little bit before we got started here, how you kind of were a military brat. Your dad was a Green Beret for 30 years, and ended up settling down. He retired in Houston. So in Texas, football,
yes,
the only thing.
Mm-hmm.
But when did you get started with that? A big guy like you, it had to be like, it recruited you for that.
No, well, when I first moved here in '85, they were trying to get me to play football. My parents wouldn't let me play because they don't want me getting hurt. So I was the biggest guy on the basketball team until 11th grade. And then finally the coaches convinced my mom to let me play, and I did pretty good.
Yeah.
I got a scholarship, paid for my college, and played 4 years in college, and I played 2 years in arena football afterwards.
What did you major in college anyway?
Football.
Just football?
I was back then it's a lot different. Times have changed a lot. If you were going to be like an engineer or something like that, the coach would look you in the eyes because you have to take classes at night and different times. Yeah. And you're on scholarship. You're there for football. So if it takes away from your practice, you're not going to major that, or you won't be on the team. If you're on the team, you're not getting free college.
So you're just basically going to classes to go to class? Or
yes, sir. You were. If you ever wondered, why there was, especially back in the 80s and 90s, why there was a cajillion kinesiology majors.
Yeah.
You're going to be a coach because we know you can pass the classes.
Okay. I guess that makes sense, right? So you did arena. That lasted a couple years. And you told me it was just very different. It wasn't too much running. I guess it was a smaller field.
It's real simple. I was about 260 at the time, and no one really wants a 260-pound defensive lineman in the NFL. So yeah, I was a long way from the NFL, obviously, and I just had to get a real job. I had a kid at the time, so I did some powerlifting, and I became an assistant manager for a sporting goods store, like Al Bundy style, with a clip-on tie and all that. I did that for about 9 months, and I couldn't take it no more. And then I happened to go to the gym one day, and the WWF was in town, and they said, "Oh, you make a good wrestler," and they gave me some information at a local wrestling school here in Houston for Tugboat Taylor and Chaz Taylor's school. Okay. And that's how I got started.
How long was training there with Tugboat?
Well, I wasn't very good.
Oh, okay.
Because, some of the concepts, as far as the drills and the conditioning part was easy, but just the mentality, letting someone beat you up, selling, calling moves without with the crowd hearing you. Yeah. Was very difficult for myself. So it took me about 1.5 years to get it down, and then I started having matches after that.
So you got you into training, but was there always a passion for you to get into wrestling? Were you a fan growing up?
Of course. Ever since I was a kid, you watch, you have cable TV, you watch Georgia Championship Wrestling, and when I lived in North Carolina, and then, lived in the Midwest for a little bit, watching AWA, and then when we moved to Texas, I'm at the hot spot, Paul Bosch, Houston Wrestling right there, the first time ever I've seen a Hispanic man like the Guerreros, Jose Lothario in a positive light, whether not being, like I said, I'm older, seeing a guy, if you see a Hispanic on TV back then, he was, a thug. He was the guy in jail.
Light sheet steel.
Yeah. I mean, it was something always a joke.
Well, the older ones, yeah.
Or a joke. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, to actually see a positive role model that people were cheering was phenomenal. That's what turned me on to it.
Mm-hmm. And that drew you in. Was it also just the Hispanic feel to it, like having Hispanic heroes like that, or was it just like that kind of drew you into it? But
I mean, I know I'm older than you, JC, but I mean, what Hispanic heroes do we have in the 70s and 80s?
Not very many. That's true.
I can't think of none.
Yeah.
I mean, besides outside of wrestling and maybe boxing, why do you think the Fernando Valenzuela in the early 80s
was such a big thing?
Was huge for the Dodgers because of the Hispanic community.
Definitely.
There was very, very few heroes for us. So when you're watching television, you see someone that looks like you, similar last name, of course it's going to draw you that way.
Mm-hmm. What were some other favorites you had growing up? See on TV.
I love watching the JYD Junkyard Dog. All like the obscure weird guys like Missing Link, such a jacked guy, Dewey Robinson, but all he'd do would hit you with a headbutt.
Right.
Ric Flair, of course. I mean, anyone over the age of 2 knows who Ric Flair is, and over there in the Georgia, North Carolina area right there. I mean, those guys did out awesome. And of course, every now and then when he would be on the American style TV was Mil Mascaras. A jacked guy with a mask on. Just mesmerizes you as a kid.
Who did you always pretend to be growing up as a kid? You always pretend to be a wrestler, Mine was probably like Roddy Piper or Ultimate Warrior, So.
Unfortunately for my siblings and my cousins, it was Ric Flair putting the figure 4 on people. It's funny now, but I mean, I think I could have went to jail a couple of times because like I said, it's an art.
Yeah.
So you're imitating what you see on television, and you're putting someone in a shoot, real figure 4, clamping down on. I'm lucky I didn't get sued or get my ass beat for breaking someone's leg.
Now you got trained with Tugboat a couple years, got into wrestling, and did you start just kind of went all around Texas, or where was it kind of where you traveled?
Again, mine was one thing about myself, and we'll talk about later with Homicide is, we go to a beat of a different drum. Mm-hmm. We're not part of some social cliques or little ass-kicking groups and stuff like that. We are wrestlers, and we think the best wrestler is the one who should be on the show.
Right.
So when I was growing up, like you see XYZ, everything in every town. I would wrestle in one promotion per town. So I would wrestle in Houston, one promotion. Dallas, one promotion. San Antonio, one promotion. Corpus, one promotion. No matter, there's 10 promotions, didn't matter, because I wanted my name value to go up. I know that I was an independent guy. I'm not making great money. I'm lucky to make $100, but my money's gonna go down if once a month you see me in Houston at this promotion, then all of a sudden you see me 3 or 4 times in Houston, and all of a sudden I'm getting paid $40 or $50. This is common business sense.
Right.
You don't oversaturate yourself. I'm an ABC promotion. Oh, well, I'll just see you next week in the other promotion. You just killed your own drawing power, in my opinion. Of course, my thinking might be outdated, but it worked great for me. My money never went down.
Now, you mentioned Homicide. Obviously, you guys are very famous as a tag team starting in TNA. Mm-hmm. How did TNA come about for you? Because that promotion just kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah, so, Jeff Jarrett and his daddy brought it out in about 2002, doing midweek pay-per-views on Tuesday and Wednesdays.
Yeah. Because
most guys wouldn't have bookings that day.
Right.
And I would drive 12 hours for tryout matches for free.
Man.
Just be part of those tapings. And finally in 2003, I got signed, and big baller making 3 bills a show every time you saw the Elite Guard on there.
I was about to say the Elite Guard. Now, Stone Cold Steve Austin has said many times his ringmaster gimmick, it was crap, but it got me in the door. Is that kind of how you looked at it? Is the Elite Guard was like it
of
got
course,
me in,
you know, TV is TV. You know, there's, you know, I bet the farm on myself. You know, here I was, and you know, at the height of my, you know, my physical athletic look, and I'm not going to wrestle in these small promotions all the time. So I bet the farm that I'm going to be in the big leagues. You know, for all these guys that would wrestle 3 or 4 times every Friday, Saturday, Sunday in some flea market or bingo hall or something like that. No disrespect. I thought I was better than that, and it worked out because I saved my body because I know I want to put out everything I can in every match. That means if I go do my big dive to the outside and no one catches me, it's going to be on TV. So someone's going to see that.
Yeah.
Someone's going to see that I got heart and passion that, hey, I need to give this guy a chance.
Nice. So the team with Homicide, I guess there was kind of a natural transition. The Elite Guard didn't last too long.
Oh, I can tell you exactly why Elite Guard did not last.
Sure, go for it.
We were a doppelganger group of, it was Conan, Road Dogg, and Ron Killings, and we were the doppelganger gang, myself, Onyx, and Chad Collier. We were doing a feud with him every week, and then all of a sudden Chad Collier decided he wanted to go to Michinoku Pro and do a 3-month tour in Japan, and they fired all 3 of us.
Man, that sucks.
Because we barely had a foot in the door. You're the lowest rung on television, and you pull a big baller move like that, you're either going to get, they're going to say, okay, cool, wait for us, or clip you off. And that's what happened.
You're dead weight at that point.
Oh, most deaf.
Yeah. So you got let go. How much longer till you got back in the door with TNA?
I was wrestling independence, and I was wrestling a lot in Mexico because I love wrestling in Mexico. The crowds, the pageantry, everything. I was wrestling Mr. Texas. And 300-pound guy in Speedos with a mask on. You know.
Heel or face?
Oh, it was baby. That's the weird part. I was a baby face, you know.
Yeah.
I cringe when I see a lot of those pictures, you know, but it got me over a lot. And I was doing that, and then TNA called me in January of 2006 because they had a group called LAX, Conan, Homicide, and Apollo from Puerto Rico.
That's right, I remember him.
So Apollo's big jack, 6'5", 300-pound guy, was having difficulties making his flight from Puerto Rico to Orlando, which is not very far, so I don't want to tell another man's business. When they run about 6 to 8 flights a day from Puerto Rico to Orlando, so y'all can figure out why he couldn't make the flight. And they asked me to be in the group because they, being very stereotypical, they needed a big Hispanic guy, and I said no because after I got how I got treated in 2003, so I'm good. I'm wrestling Mexico, got this big feud, hair versus mask match, and listen, so maybe March, because that's when the feud would be over.
Uh-huh.
They called me back in March. I was in shock that they brought another guy in, Ricky Vega, local Florida guy, and for whatever reason, the group didn't work out with Ricky and Homicide and Conan, and they said, hey man, just come one time. Come check it out, see if you like it. If you don't like it, you don't have to come.
Yeah.
Which was the lie, because there was no way they were letting me leave Orlando without signing the contract. Because as soon as I arrived and they picked me up, they took me straight to the office and gave me some big spiel about how I need to be part of this group. And I was, sure enough, they signed me before I even met the roster.
Wow. They really wanted you then, so.
Yeah. Well, I guess just enough to make sure the fluidity of the group went. Because, I mean, let's be realistic. When I first came in at LAX, I wasn't given a name.
You were I remember seeing that. It was just Homicide I knew, Conan I knew, and then, okay, here's another big guy of the month. It was.
Oh, yeah, that's what it was. I mean, I'm not, I had no delusions of grandeur at the time. I was just, like, it was like Menudo, the new guy. Mm-hmm. He gets rotated after they turn 13 or they have to get a new guy in. Yeah, that was me. Mm-hmm. And they couldn't think of a name for me because they gave all the names away.
Yeah.
So I was like, like how Goldberg represents his Jewish heritage, I want to always rep the Latino heritage. So I said, hey, let's go with Hernandez. If you find something better, cool, but let's go with that. And luckily for me, creative was so lazy that they went with Hernandez and everything worked out
just
good.
Worked from there.
Yes,
that worked
sir.
out perfect. Now, of course, everyone knows this is the big run. You guys had some legendary tag team matches. I think match of the year one year was you and Slide against AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels. Mm-hmm. Was that, would you say, the best match of your career? Is that the most memorable one for you, at least from the tag teams?
It's definitely up there. I mean, what a lot of people don't realize, I started in March of 06 with TNA was doing LAX. And if you whether you go with YouTube or however you go back in time to look at the old matches, and at TNA at the time, we mostly were just standing by the Spanish announce table. We probably had about 3 or 4 matches from March to August. So we were scared we were going to get fired. So here's these 2 Hispanic dudes eating free catering, getting flown in, free hotel, getting paid to stand there. We knew this wasn't going to last long, because every week when you don't have a match, you're on TV, they have to fly you in.
And that's money.
And you were just standing there, literally standing there. I'm from the old school, they're not going to pay no Hispanic guy to sit in the corner and pay this guy $67,000 a year to stand there. And so we had about 4 or 5 matches, and finally in August we had a pay-per-view, and Ron Killings and Sanjay Dutt needed a match.
Yeah.
And for some reason they didn't want to put them against each other because they were baby faces. So what a lot of people don't realize about the LAX, that was a make or break.
Oh, really? Okay.
That was a make or break. They just threw us in the match and said, screw it, see what they can do. If they don't do it, they don't do well, we just let them go.
Yeah. Did you know that going in?
Oh, we know. We in our minds, we knew our days were numbered. Mm-hmm. I'm sure. Like I said, I was indie guy from Texas, and I was doing a lot of stuff from Mexico. I'm sure Homicide had the hotline button getting ready to go back to Ring of Honor. Mm-hmm. In my mind, we were gone because you don't just stand there, everyone having matches, new guys, old guys coming in, and you still just standing there by the Spanish announce table the whole show. And they gave us a match and see what these kids can do. And the crowd was awesome. I mean, I was in shock. Here it is. We just literally stood there for months at a time, and we actually had a match together in more than 3 or 4 5 minute match. We had maybe a 10 to 15 minute match, and the crowd was amazed. We looked like thugs. We looked like the real deal. We laid our stuff in, and they were behind us. So people don't realize we went from March to standing there, having no matches for 5 months, to August having a really good match in the pay-per-view on a throwaway deal, to 4 months later having the match of the year of 2006. That's nuts.
Yeah. A little bit of luck there too, right? You would say?
Oh, yeah. If it wasn't for that, it wasn't for the August match, who knows?
Yeah.
You probably never heard of LAX.
They tried it.
Yeah. It's like the Spirit Squad or something like that.
Yeah. So while you guys were getting big in TNA, you stayed involved with Texas. Mm-hmm. Why is that? Why stay with Texas? I know a lot of people sometimes they make it big and you don't see them too much in their home. You stayed a lot involved with the independent scene, especially here in San Antonio.
Yes.
What was your motivation with that?
Well, I was very fortunate. I didn't have to move to make it big. Most guys in the independent scene, live in wherever they live at, but they have to move close to the East Coast to get noticed, to get exposure. Nowadays, not so much, but definitely back then, before social media took off really big. And ever since my dad retired in Texas, I would never leave Texas. I love this place so much. And the main reason why I started with the independents in Texas and getting involved even after I made TNA was I noticed in every WB, Ring of Honor, TNA, every guy had his own clique from his old hood, from his old neighborhood. And that was my goal, was to get at least 2 or 3 guys from Texas to come to TNA. So, hey, like, I got a clique too. And that was my number one reason to always hang out, especially helping RCW in San Antonio.
Yeah. And a lot of those guys made it onto TV too. I remember the Marvel and Don Juan showing up as part of the LAX run-in.
I wonder how they got on there.
And I wonder.
People forget that, you know.
Yeah.
Even the people who were involved forget how they got there. So, you know, it's no big deal.
So we have some of the other WrestleCasters have submitted ones, my wife included, my wife Tina. In your opinion, who is currently the most underrated independent wrestler, male and female?
That's never made it?
That's never made it. You would say underrated. Or even someone that has, who would you say is underrated?
Obviously, for myself, if the guys that's on independent, there's only 2 guys. I don't follow that much anymore. I just, stay in my lane, like what I like and stuff like that. But Homicide, he's currently a free agent right now, as I am. Is probably the most underrated independent wrestler ever. I mean, people don't realize how many guys he's trained. He's literally the godfather of the East Coast. He trained Low Key. Just that alone, I mean, Low Key's, I think, one of the best wrestlers in the world.
Oh, yeah.
People can say about his reputation or attitude, but strictly in the ring, he's one of the best in the world. Someone who has not made it as far as I think they should have is Masada.
Okay.
I've seen everyone in the independents from East Coast to West Coast, Puerto Rico, Germany, Japan. Masada can do it all. He can do every style. He can work with anyone. I think he has a bad stigma from being in Big Japan doing those death matches. But I mean, for him not to be making big money for a company, I don't see it.
I agree. He's very underrated as a technical wrestler too. Female talent, same question. Who would you say?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I'm not. Please don't think I'm being rude.
No, it's all right.
Let's just be realistic. I'm an old man now. I do not. If you're not on a show that I'm on a show with, I don't know. I don't really pay attention.
Yeah.
I mean, in my opinion, there's so many girls in Mexico that are so awesome that never get the chance. And Chica Tormenta, who's amazing. She's from Guadalajara. She's now doing some stuff with AAA, but she's easily the best and toughest indie girl I've ever been with. She used to take the bus from Guadalajara, Mexico to San Antonio, Texas for a bus fare and $50 and would wrestle women, men. She's taken my dive over the top rope.
Wow.
I mean, she can do extreme. I've seen her do light tube matches and barbed wire. She's easily the toughest chick I've ever seen in a ring.
Another question we got. Your finisher, of course, is the border toss.
Yes,
which one was the favorite one that you've ever delivered? Which one stands out? There's so many.
Yes. I think Gail Kim actually volunteering to take it.
I knew
just
it.
to help the angle that she wasn't even involved in, just to help her rep get up there.
Yeah.
And that one and the one I gave Spike Dudley on the metal chair, on the metal ladder when he was in the Santa Claus outfit, that was kind of weird. That's good.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, it's the Gil Kim one because I mean, there's still to this day there's indie guys and professional guys on the major league rosters that refused to take the border toss, but this young lady volunteered just to help her career, just to show how tough she is, and wow.
Yeah. I had a feeling that was going to be your favorite. She's, well, my personal all-time favorite female wrestler, so I'm very happy to hear you say that. Most dangerous one that you can remember, like what was
most of the ones that are dangerous are the ones that when they want me to throw the person across, do the border toss to the outside.
Yeah.
Whereas all on me, and I would never forget, we did a spot where we wrestled myself and Homicide. I was on loan from TNA to Ring of Honor, and we wrestled Chris Hero, and he's a Claudio guy.
He's no Cesaro now. Yeah, Claudio.
Cesaro guy.
Yeah.
Those guys, awesome. Those two guys, build out of the ring, and for some reason they were supposed to both get together to catch Homicide on the border toss. For some reason, it was a miscommunication.
Oh, no.
Chris Hero was way over here, and Claudio is about anywhere from 5 to 8 feet farther than I thought he was supposed to be. So I picked up Homicide, and dude, I threw him as far as I could to make sure he could reach, because I just knew that he was too far.
Yeah.
This was the Manhattan Center in New York City, and it worked out. I mean, it was beautiful. It was,
the longest one you've thrown, going for the javelin kind of thing.
In the biggest stage, yes. I mean, I remember we used to wrestle in Denton, Texas, at XCW, and they would have me do some squash matches or whatever, especially after made television, and then they would do, as Mr. JC was so pleasantly reminding me that I used to be Hot Stuff Hernandez. Yes. we would do the hot bomb challenge.
Yeah.
Where I would literally, whatever guy I just squashed, would do a running border toss to the outside to where the security caught him, and they would measure it. Now, if that doesn't scream OSHA or any safety rules that people cry about getting hit too hard on a chop now.
Yeah.
Come hang out with us about 10, 15 years ago, or some of the stupid stuff we do just to get some exposure. So Knight Davis was running that promotion. His dad would get a tape measure and measure from the edge of the ring to second, third row, wherever the guy landed.
Amazing.
And it was rough.
I miss XCW. I went up for a couple of battle box shows. Did you ever do one of those?
I did the majority of those. I mean, that building where there was the BYOB building.
I remember that. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! On any given night, you can have a nice view of the whole swim team, female swim team from the Texas Women's College, or you can get 200 drunk frat guys that want to be part of the show.
Yeah.
And it was definitely a different crowd, different atmosphere. It was great. If you didn't learn, I was very fortunate in the early 2000s to learn how to work in front of different crowds like that. It was awesome.
Favorite match or moment of your career?
For myself, anytime I was in the ring, I was very fortunate to wrestle Kurt Angle twice, singles, and I enjoyed both times. He was phenomenal. He let me get in the ring. He let me do different things to him. And it was, a great back and forth match. I got to have matches against Sting. I think for myself, though, the number one mark-out moment for me was I was on loan to AAA for a year in 2010 to AAA, and then they came back for a surprise, and Hulk Hogan himself introduced me to the crowd.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And I was so pumped up that he went like this, and I went on the other side.
Yeah.
And I ran off on the other side. I mean, I was so pumped up. I haven't wrestled in America in about 6 months. Here's Hulk Hogan telling me, telling the crowd they got a big surprise from Mexico, boom, boom, boom. Here I come running full speed, and he's turned the other way, like he's waiting for somebody. He's like this, and I go.
Your dream match, I guess a match you haven't had is like, I know you're getting close to the end of your career, you told me. What is a dream match you would have liked to have or hope you can have? Singles or tag team?
I'm good.
You're good? You got everything you wanted?
Who else gets to wrestle, Sting? Who else gets to wrestle Kurt Angle, AJ Styles? I wrestled Samoa Joe, some of the biggest names in the industry, I was too green at the time or too young. It wasn't my time yet to wrestle Stone Cold or Rock or something like that. So, the time wasn't there for me to get to wrestle those guys. But, right now I want to concentrate on myself and Homicide. We're going to do one last television run. And I don't know about him.
Yeah.
Because he's a Terry Funk who is never going to retire. But
yeah, well, he'll retire multiple times and still come back.
No. Homicide, at least he will admit it. He won't retire. Yeah. But I'm a little bit different. I love having my kids around and stuff like that, and I'm getting up there in age that I want to be that guy to be able to hang out with my kids and do different things. Like my son's a huge basketball player right now. Well, he's small, but he's into it. He plays AAU basketball, and he's 11, and he plays with 13 and 15-year-olds, and I'm having trouble keeping up, so if I keep going full speed, I won't keep those days are over. If he got involved, he wanted to get involved with wrestling, what would you tell him? Would you let him? Would you train him? What would you say? Well, he wants to, and like some independent shows he comes to, and I give him the ring and I show him a couple things, but he's not ready to take the moves yet. Not ready to commit. No. He's willing to do all the cool stuff to where he don't get hit, he don't get hurt, but he won't even take a body slam. Oh, okay. My oldest daughter, I don't know if you remember. Remember she was a power lifter, state power lifter. Yeah. I trained her in 2010. She was state champion of powerlifting for the state. Texas state champion for Texas, and she wrestled because I trained all my kids about 11 or 12 years old to at least know what to do, because you never know. And luck would have it, we had some BC issues with Dr. Wagner Jr. and she went to the show. I said, "Hey, we'll make you $100." And I put her in the match with me, and she was in street clothes, and she did great. And she wants to actually get back into it, so we need to talk about that. Yeah. I've been wrestling for 22 years now, and I've seen a lot of things, good and bad, and I wouldn't wish that on anyone's kids, even my enemy's kids. You mentioned the final tour with Homicide. I've kind of seen it. I've seen it advertised, a tribute to Homicide show going up in Brooklyn. So what's the plan? Is it like the end of the year? Is this kind of it? Homicide's tribute? Well, the tribute, but for you as a tag team, you mentioned this is it. Is it running through the end of the year? Well, he's making me, he's pushing me. He's pushing you? I wouldn't expect anything less. He knows what I can do and what I can't do. And as long as I can still keep doing this, he's gonna. I keep saying, just like my wife. I've been telling my wife, another year or two and I'm done. I'm the same in the last 4 years. Yeah. No, let's be realistic. A lot of guys have wrestled, and I've been doing it for this long, and I'm very fortunate. I've been doing some acting stuff. I've been in some movies and some commercials. I was in Queen of the South last year on season 3. I need a fallback job. Let's be realistic. So you think acting is going to be the way to go for you, probably, or if I can get that going a lot better than it has been going, because like I just did tune in real quick, guys. When all y'all insomniacs that can't sleep at night. Yeah. The VIP Survivalist program. I am the host. I am the host. Kind of like the same guys who made those tactical sunglasses. Yeah. The same people do their own VIP Survivalist program. I am the host of that infomercial. If you don't like me, tough, because there's 10 more coming. Yeah. What in wrestling, you've done so much, what do you want your legacy in wrestling to be? Basically to be a a positive role model for Latino kids. You know, like we were talking earlier, there was no, you know, I'm a lot older than probably most listeners on here. There was no positive role models in the 70s and early 80s at all for us, except for pro wrestlers and boxers. No one else cared about catering to the Hispanic market. Now everyone wants, oh, it's cool to be Latino. Yeah, we love tacos. Yeah. Oh, Mexico's awesome. You weren't saying that shit 20 years ago. You weren't saying that when I was growing up at all. So, I mean, I want to be one of those guys that, hey, he repped us. He cared. He's the first one. He's the first positive one that cared. Maybe not the first one, but one of the first positive ones.
Yeah.
Because there wasn't a lot, you know, for all you guys that are in the social media age where you got to go to school with the internet and a cell phone. You probably don't know what I'm talking about. But all those young guys from like 40 and over, y'all know, we had no positive role models. I mean, we had what Julio from Sanford and Son. Everybody else, and he was a comedy actor. Everyone else was a drug dealer, an inmate, a thug, a gangbanger. Nobody else was positive. I mean, yeah, y'all could talk about the token one we had, you know, Ponch from Chips, Eric Estrada.
Yeah.
Okay, one.
Just what? Yeah,
one.
It's different. We remember we've talked recently on a show about fan wrestler interactions, and you mentioned the whole Latino thing.
Yep.
I don't know if you've heard the stories about Taya Valkyrie getting spit on at Impact by a fan after she hit some guy's beer.
Yeah.
What for you, I guess, would be like crossing the line? I know because you've dealt with some stuff. You told me stories about getting cussed out in the Midwest by left and right.
I saw the video.
Yeah.
I saw the video, and I'll be 1,000% honest with you. That was uncalled for by Tyler.
Okay.
That's my personal opinion. The match is over there. Why are you in that guy's face? Why are you in this guy's face? You're supposed to be entertaining that match. With the camera, okay, you talk from day one. There may be 1,000 people, there might be 500 people in the crowd. But when that camera's on, you're not entertaining those 100, 500 people. You're entertaining millions of people on the camera. There's a hard camera, there's 3 or 4 roaming cameras. That's who you entertain. In my opinion, and I'm probably in the minority, and I don't really care. I see what I saw. This is what I saw. I saw Taya get into a fan's face who's behind a small barrier, putting her hand in his face and knocking his beer out of his hand, and then he's spinning. I tell you what, if I'm a paying fan and someone does that to me, put their hand in my face and smack my beer, I promise you I will do the same. And if y'all say y'all wouldn't do it, you are liars. If someone puts their hand this close to your face and you don't want to slap, and they slap your beer afterwards, when they're supposed to be in a match, in character. I just think some of these people are not very well trained, and maybe they should learn from the older school generation. Yes, that this new generation of wrestlers are very talented. Don't get me wrong, they're very talented. But when you were in your moment, you were in your character, where you're actually getting paid. Come on.
Yeah.
You're going to let one fan interrupt, and it's not your match. You're just a manager. So granted, you probably have different opinion. This Jim has different opinion. God has different opinion. I don't care. Whatever y'all say, it doesn't matter what he's saying. It should have been in my opinion, if she could not take what that man was saying, she's just a manager. Pull security up there, have security escort him at least for the match.
Yeah.
And that would have been fine. Her person hit herself with the cameras on. And everyone's like, oh, poor Taya, poor. What about that poor beer?
Mm-hmm. I think that's probably why he's more pissed off, because the beer probably costs like $10.
Oh,
yeah.
If Melrose Ballroom in New York, I'd be upset too.
Yeah.
That beer was expensive.
Well, you mentioned how you would react. Do you think you would get into training people, maybe open a school?
No.
No?
No. When I get done wrestling, I will not be a trainer. I will not be
Producer? Nothing?
Because I don't know how you guys deal with it. I'm turning more into my dad, like a cranky old man. This self-entitled age of millennial kids, I'm in shock. And they live in my house, my own kids. Let me talk like they talk to me when I ask them to clean their room. My teeth will be on the ground, I have to pick them up, say sorry, and then go clean my room.
Yeah.
All these kids, everyone's too nice. Oh, if your parents are mean to you, you can call CPS. You can't do nothing to your kids. Nothing. And you wonder why you got all these ugly people. And I mean ugly personality.
Yeah, ugly personality, yeah.
There's a lot of ugly people.
Well, thank you for being here doing this interview. I've been trying to get you on. I really appreciate it. Your Twitter, @SuperMixCTM.
Yep.
Instagram, Facebook, I don't know if you really have we have a personal one, but I don't know if you want that out there.
The Instagram, I don't know how that works that much. I got one picture on there that for my t-shirt picture.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
don't worry about it. Just stick with Twitter.
Dude,
Twitter's your thing.
If you want to like my one picture, cool. Facebook, whatever. Just, if you want to Facebook me, cool. Just be cool. I'm very easy to get along with. Just don't be, treat me like you would treat someone else. That's all.
Yeah. I had one more question. Actually, I'm thinking about this. What if Impact said they wanted to put you and Homicide in the Hall of Fame?
No.
No?
No.
Why is that?
It sure already happened.
You don't think they would let you?
No. I'm sure eventually they would ask. But just in my personal opinion, how we were treated this last time, and if we have time, we can go into it. If we don't have time, we won't go into it. This last time, we were asked to come back. We were asked to work a program with these kids, and you come in for a company, and you come in and they were crying they don't have enough money, so we came in for a discount. We told them after 90 days, hey, after we prove our worth, show you that we still got everything about us, we want our normal pay and stuff like that after 90 days. And they said yes. And the worst thing you can do to someone is lie to someone's face. Not only did you not give us the raise, not only did you not even try to make amends, you couldn't guarantee us the days afterwards.
Yeah.
So you get someone else to do those matches, the Slammiversary match. I guarantee you, just on OSHA and just on different health codes, there will never be another pull the mat and just show the boards exposed match ever again. Just on a major television, just on the liability issue. Because as soon as that match, I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
I saw it, yeah.
We had a match where it was just the wood.
LAX and the OGs, yes. I remember that.
Mm-hmm. And we went to the ring, and the Homicide was all hyped up. He jumped on the middle board, and that board popped out. So that board's out of place. The referee's trying to put it back in place. Then here comes the new LAX with 40 dudes in this Latin rap group. 3 boards come out extra. So it was so bad that they took one of the boards completely out of the ring. And I understand people had their versions of 1-star, 2-star, 3-star, 20-star matches. How no one got hurt, whether a blowout knee, blowout herniated disc in the back, with one board completely missing the ring, and all the moves and all the different sets that we did. Just me doing a basic dive over the top rope and hoping that I don't hope I don't run the ropes in the middle and just fall in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
It was awkward. And then the very next day, the Impact management came up to us, man, you guys had, major props to you for what you did. There was that shouldn't have happened that way. We'll probably never have that match like that again. But we can't give you a raise.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and not only can't give you a raise. Remember all those dates that we worked with that we were gonna give you guaranteed? Now we can't do that anymore. So now people wonder why that last feud with the Lucha Brothers was one match. That's why.
That's why. Okay. I was wondering that myself, actually.
Oh, you can ask whatever you want, bro.
Okay.
I don't care.
I think that's pretty much it there. So, again, Supermax CTM for Sean. Our Twitter at CCG_WrestleCast. Subscribe to Countdown City Geeks YouTube. Now, we do have a sign-off here. I'll say wrestling is real. You can join me in saying people are fake. Is that a mantra you'd still real life?
That's real.
That's real? Yeah. So, until next time, Heels and Babyfaces, remember, pro wrestling is real. People are fake.
Bro.
See ya.